Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today I'm looking at Incredible Hulk 364. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Daryl. I am the host of Read Your Comics, and I am getting back into the Peter David Hulk run. This is the start of a 4-part story that I've really been looking forward to getting to because it has some of the greatest moments, I feel like, of Peter David's entire run, but also it's some of Jeff Purvis's best work. I think him and Mary Severin have really gotten into a groove over these last few issues, and this is his swan song. These last 4 issues of this 4-part countdown storyline is the end of his run and the end of his comics work. But before I jump into it, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the viewer support. All your likes, comments, and shares are appreciated. And if you're new to the channel or just haven't done so already, be sure to hit subscribe. Why not go ahead and hit like? That way you don't forget later on. Let's look at this awesome yellow cover. Yellow covers always pop, and this one is by the legend Walt Simonson. This may be some of the earliest Walt Simonson that I saw. I mean, I probably saw it on the shelf, but I wasn't reading any titles he was working on at this time. So the covers for these next few issues that he's done, I'm guessing would be some of my earliest exposure to him. I mean, I've gone back and read stuff that he did before this now, and huge fan of him, but at the time hadn't really experienced any of his work. I love the close up of the Hulk here, just bashing in the Abomination's face. Now, we have not seen the Abomination in the Peter David run so far. In fact, there's only been one appearance of during the Gray Hulk era, and it was in an annual that Peter David didn't write, so I didn't cover it. Maybe I'll go back and do it one day. But also in that issue, if I'm not mistaken, the Abomination was actually, it was the Abomination's body, but it was Tyrannus that was controlling him, like in his mind. It was the mind, let's say, the mind of Tyrannus in Abomination's body. So the Abomination hadn't taken on the Gray Hulk at all. And that's what's going to lead to some just really interesting dialogue and stuff within this issue. So let's jump on in. Countdown Abomination. Great opening shot. You see the silhouette of the Hulk right here as he's transforming, but it's the Hulk that's transforming back into Banner. And this has some good shots. We've seen Purves do this already. This, like, the Hulk laying in the floor as he's getting ready to change back, kind of complaining about turning into Banner. And I guess Banner used that money that he got from those issues with Iron Man to buy a little house or a condo or rent a place to live, and him and the Hulk have just kind of been laying low. You get Banner getting a newspaper, and he's telling the kid not to throw it in the bushes. The kid says, "Up yours," to him. Anyway, Banner's trying to, like, figure out what's happened to Rick and Betty. So he's been checking the paper to see if he sees any news about what they're up to, and even checking on the obituaries if need be. You get a good little 1-page panel here that's recapping, obviously, the origin of Banner getting hit by the gamma bomb. I like that he took a different approach instead of just copying that, silhouette with the blast coming behind him that Kirby did. That pretty much everybody copied that going forward, but he kind of took a little different angle on it. I appreciate that. Interesting looking Hulk here carrying Betty too. Then we're going to cut to this character. Now, this is a scientist that works at the nuclear facility that Banner is janitoring at, and he knows that it's Bruce Banner as the Hulk, and he's worked out a deal with him where Banner's going to help him with his work so that he can move up in the company. And in exchange, he's like kind of helping Banner get access to lab equipment because he's looking for a way to cure the Hulk. And his last name was Stearns. So that's the same last name as the leader. Now he's looking in the mirror here, and he sees this kind of almost scarecrow-like character, but he's got kind of a gesture-ish looking costume on. It's an interesting design, to say the least, with only one eye exposed and almost like a like a potato sack mouth going on, like Mr. Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. And this character in the mirror is telling him that he needs to take Banner out, and he gives him something that's like a poison to poison Banner. And he says, well, once he changes into the Hulk, it's not going to affect him. And he says, oh, this one will. Bruce passed out. He's running late for work, and he gets there on time. These trucks he's passing here, those kind of play a role as he's going in to work. I guess he puts on a fake mustache to go into work too, which is kind of funny. They don't ever show him putting it on, but he doesn't have it there, and he does there. So he's getting ready for his janitorial duties. You see, these are the guys that were in the truck, and they're bringing in this toxic waste, and he's wondering why they're bringing him in. Phil tells him it's because the research facility is working on a way to make the toxic waste inert so that it's safe to dispose of. And they're like, oh, well, that could come in handy for getting rid of the Hulk, couldn't it? And you see Phil slap Banner on the back, and this timer starts. Right about that same time, some guards outside happen to see something falling from the sky. And they can't quite tell what it is, so they start shooting at it because they're guarding a nuclear facility, and it's the Abomination. Purves doing a great Abomination here. I love his lettering here, the onomatopoeia once again. He's been great at that this whole series as he crashes through and just happens to land in the room with Banner in it. The Abomination, as he shouts out. Great looking Abomination. The guards come in. Of course, bullets are nothing, and he's just kind of mocking them like he's dummies. You know that doesn't affect me. Good panel layout, good movement here as he comes through the hole in the wall, rips up the floor, from this kind of L-shaped, backwards L-shaped panel, throwing it at him. Love these triangles right here when he sees you and sees him running away. And he recognizes who he is immediately. And he's kind of excited about it because he loves fighting the Hulk. He feels like him and the Hulk have a rivalry. So he goes to him, and Banner, all of a sudden, he's bending down, grabbing his chest, feels like he's having a heart attack. And Abomination's like, oh, no, you don't. Don't you dare. I refuse to let my rivalry with the Hulk end because you can't take the pressure. Now change. I can't. Only at night. Oh, really? And I guess this lab, maybe this is why Banner picked it out, happens to have some kind of gamma accelerator that the Abomination throws Banner into and cranks it on. Lighting is great in this. Good mechanical stuff here as he pulls the lever on this machine. And it does what he wanted it to do. The Hulk comes out. He's like, at last. And you see the timer still running. So that's to let you know that whatever that poison is, which was giving Banner a heart attack, it's still running in the Hulk. Another great Abomination. Purves really knocks the Abomination out of the park, and it's a shame that it's only going to be this issue that Purves really gets to play with it. We did see like a panel or two of the Abomination back in the Glorian issues where it was like an illusion, but none of this like detailed close-up stuff. And the Hulk and the Abomination proceed to have a throwdown. But this is where he says, what the blazes? This is the green-skinned Goliath? No, this is the hacked-off Hulk. And he's talking too? And so throughout this fight, the Abomination is like kind of confused why the Hulk is gray and why he's talking. But he also, and throughout this fight, the Abomination, he's kind of like mocking the Hulk for being smaller and weaker. All of this is great. I mean, not a lot of dialogue on this page. I love the Hulk kind of stomping down on him here. Abomination's able to get out of the way. The thin panel close-ups. And he starts getting some good licks in on the Hulk. And there's a laser beam in here, and he's like, your skin may hold up to this laser beam, but let's see what happens when it goes in one ear and out the other. Of course, the Hulk is able to give him a knee to the chest to throw him off. I mean, the choreography of this fight scene is great. And just as he's about to like make his move on the Abomination, now he starts getting the chest pains. And he realizes immediately, I've been poisoned. With the countdown. 16, I guess that's 16 hours. All of this is just more great choreography again. Abomination looking a little skinny and small in this one as compared to the way he's been drawing him. Could have bulked him up a little bit on that panel. Nice sideways panel here too. I mean, I've said a few times that I feel like there's issues where Purves is having more fun with the issue, and I feel like he's putting more detail into it. This is definitely one of those issues. And again, Mary Severin knocking it out the park with the inking, just punching up some of the line work of Purves, because Purvis's line work tended to be a little thin, and she's able to bring a little bit more out of it. Some solid punching going on here, but it doesn't do anything to the Abomination. He's like, that's it? Each one was weaker than the one before. What a joke. Sure, you were brainless, but I could respect Jade Jaws. You're a pale, lifeless imitation. No offense, but I'm going to kill you now. No offense taken, but I'm not dying just yet. And the Hulk crashes into where these guys had the toxic waste. Look at this wrestling move, this full Nelson that he's going to try to break the Hulk's neck with. And he reaches for the toxic waste. He does a butterfly, a reverse fly, to whack him in the neck. Flips him into the toxic waste. Look at that grin. Look at that ear. Look at that brow. Perfect Hulk face. This is almost a cross between what McFarlane was doing and what Dale Keown is going to do. Dale Keown still hasn't done any Hulk yet. This is kind of what the direction that Keown's going to go. And it proceeds to melt the Abomination's face. And we'll see way down the road when the Abomination does reappear that this sticks. He keeps this look going for quite a while. So the next issue, it says, is the Fantastic Four. That was actually in the paper that Banner was reading earlier in the issue, kind of setting that up, that Reed Richards going to be doing some kind of conference at night. And Banner was just thinking to himself, ooh, I'd like to go to that, but nighttime isn't really the best time for me to go to anything. And that's what we're leading up to, is a Hulk and Thing fight, but one like we've never seen before. That's it for this one. I love this countdown story. I'm real excited to follow through with these next couple parts. As I said, it has some great Hulk moments. One of the best ever Hulk and Ben Grimm moments is coming next week. So stay tuned, and until then, read your comics. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my breakdown of this issue, you can support the channel by hitting subscribe. It costs you nothing and helps other comic fans find the channel. You can also visit readyourcomics.com for cool merch, like this. Read Your Comics isn't just a brand, it's a mantra. And when you wear a Read Your Comics shirt, you are helping spread the word. For more classic comics conversation, be sure to follow me on Instagram at read.your.comics. And if you're still here, why not watch one of my older videos? Here or here.